128. 128. That's all it takes.
Not all it takes.
And what's your excuse?
I haven't found anyone to marry.
When I told y'all that being willing to accept a cheap ring isn't going to get you married faster, y'all dragged me to the pits of hell and back. When I said some of y'all are so desperate for marriage, you're willing to accept anything and you still end up with nothing, y'all wanted me to get struck by lightning. I literally had to turn off the comments on that video because y'all weren't ready to hear that. And now you have this woman here who is practically begging for a $128 or less ring, and he's unfazed, unmoved, and unbothered. Y'all are in the comments asking why she won't let it go, why she won't leave, even though he told her to her face that he hasn't found someone to marry, joke or not. And a huge part of why she won't let it go is because she's in 3 kids deep. And this is what happens when you decide to do things in this order. This is what happens when you decide to give these men children before they meet your requirements and standards. If she hadn't had kids with him, it would have been a tad bit easier for her to walk away. But because she has 3, and they always have 3 for some reason, she feels like she's stuck. She feels like she has no choice but to beg for it. And she believes that if she lets him know she's willing to accept a cheap ring, that it'll give him some type of motivation to marry her, when in reality, it's actually doing the opposite. Y'all, I went to her page. She's been begging for this ring for a while. They've been together for over 5 years. She even asked for it last year as a Christmas gift, and he still didn't get it. She pushed out not 1, not 2, but 3 of his children and is now begging him to spend $128 or less on a ring, when in reality, he just doesn't want to marry her. She's a placeholder, and when he finally gets tired of looking for her replacement, he'll give her the scraps she's been so patiently waiting for.
Hello, all. Welcome back to All Things Jenny. I am Jenny. $128 ring is all she wanted. That's all she wanted. She gave this man 3 children and basically a good amount of her lifetime, a good amount of her youth.
Did y'all see that video of that lady in Walmart begging this man to marry her? They were in the jewelry aisle and she was like, this ring is only $128. And you could hear like the sadness and desperation and frustration in her voice. And the dude was kind of having a smirk on his face like, well, I don't have anybody to ask, so why am I going to buy an engagement ring? Like, it just, yikes. Because allegedly she has 3 kids with this man. And whether he's making a joke or not, that's yikes. Wow. Talk about sleeping with the enemy. It just seems like she has not accepted the fact of reality, which is this man has no intentions of ever marrying her. He doesn't want to marry her. He don't want her. And at this point, he's probably just with her so that he doesn't have to pay child support. She doesn't realize it, but when she realizes it, it's going to hit her like a ton of bricks. As a person who herself got pregnant before I was married, let me just tell you, I know what I'm talking about on this one. I hope I don't come off overly judgy, but it's a reason why so many cultures and religions and stuff tell you, be careful, not to put the cart before the horse. Try not to get pregnant before you get, seal the deal with somebody, because, and not that that's going to always protect you. Bad stuff can happen after you marry somebody. I mean, they can still lie to you, cheat, do or whatever. But you don't want to be in that situation where the dynamic of your relationship has changed and now you're on this frequency of desperation. Like, is he ever going to ask me? You're never going to get a moment's peace. You're always going to be like anticipating, hoping, waiting, and then you start to beg. And you see some people that resort to asking the guy because it's just taking too long and they just feel like he's never going to ask. So they have to go ask him. And the reason why I feel that we're told not to do that is because even back in them Bible days, some of these men were on some F-boy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know the nature, the heart and mind of a man and some of the things that they're likely to do in certain situations. And that situation of like, okay, if you don't want to be finding yourself maybe in a precarious situation, avoid doing this. And though my particular situation worked out, I acknowledge that having the child first with the guy and then kind of hoping for a ring is taking the hard risk, okay? It's 50-50, and maybe the odds are worse than that. But, I've seen a lot of people who had the baby first, they got married, they stayed married, everything worked out. they just didn't want to rush into a marriage because they got pregnant. Because those relationships don't work out either. With a lot of others, they will waste your time, and there are men that will stay with you just because they don't want to have to pay child support. Okay? Or just because they enjoy having on tap, in-house, where they don't have to pay or go out to get it. You're all too happy to provide that for him. So what was my point in making this? It's just to let you know, there are some men out there who will lay down, have kids with you, kid after kid after kid, and do not like you, does not want to be with you. You're just convenient. And I'm sorry to say, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't. It just means that you are not what he feels is the top for him. You're not a fit for him. Or as old people used to call it, unequally yoked. He's looking for something else. And men have this ability sometimes to be with a woman, have kids with a woman, live with a woman, and even marry a woman he doesn't truly want to be with, and be keeping one eye open looking for the woman he really wants to be with. That's why you see women doing all this stuff for men, and after years and years and years, they leave her and marry somebody else within 6 months. It's because they was with her, but they never really saw it for her for real. So, I didn't make the video to down this woman. I know there's a lot of women out here going through similar, and they feel the similar way. And I'm just saying, don't feel like it's something wrong with you. It's not. Okay, you just ended up with the wrong dude. You had a kid with the wrong dude. Don't make it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. Okay. Once you figure it out, be out. Okay. Because I feel like to a certain extent, there's some men that's sick enough that they use kids on purpose to keep you bound and keep you stuck. Kids are a blessing, but there are definitely men who will use them to keep you stuck.
This man said what he said, and I don't blame him. So let me get into it, right? So they've been together for a pretty long time. They have 3 children, and they haven't been married. This lady lay down and had 3 children with this man. And knowing that she wanted to get married, she continued to have children with him. First one could have been an accident. Maybe not. Maybe it was planned. But if you know that you wanted to get married, the second one should have been where you stop and say, you know what? If I don't get a ring, then that's it. But 3 children? And then on top of that, you even asked him for a ring. According to your page, you asked him for a ring for Christmas. He did not give it to you. And the thing about men is a lot of them are very, very easy to read, right? Men don't really like women who nag. Yes, they do not like that. And we don't care what they like. But at the end of the day, too, if you're constantly begging for something and you know this man is not going to give you what you want, you're nagging him for this one thing, you know he's not going to give you what you want, why stay with him? You know it's not going to change. You want him to marry you. You're saying that you would be okay with a $68 ring to a $128 ring just so he can do the gesture. I don't think at this point, I think she just gave up. She's like, you know what? I don't even care what the ring look like. I just want to be married. This man do not love you. This man do not care for you. He looked you dead in the face while you're recording him, which to me was kind of crazy because he looked like he was annoyed with the camera being in his face, which I can understand. But while you're recording, and he probably knew that you were going to post it on the internet, embarrass yourself, he looked at you and said, you have not found the person that he wants to get married to, which I'm not mad at him for saying that because that's his truth. That's his truth. And nothing's going to change that. You know what could happen or might happen? As soon as he find that person that he actually like, usually she's probably going to be someone with no children because he's already over it. Or they will meet, she might have children, but she will look nothing like you. And then he will marry her within 6 months. Meanwhile, you waited 3 children later, years later, begging him practically every single day for him to marry you. But what is the point of him marrying you if he already have the milk? He has the cow and the milk. What the heck is the point? What's the point? I hear this all the time where people are saying, don't give him the milk. If he has the cow, he's not gonna want to buy more milk. I don't know what the saying is, but you know what that means. You're already giving him all the benefits. So what is the purpose of him marrying you? I'm part of this Facebook group, right? And I just saw this lady who married her husband after like 12 years or so. Their wedding was kind of interesting. It was like weed theme. It's their thing, and I like that for them. But no, their children, their first child was 15 years old. And since I've been on that group for a long time, I see how often she was begging this man to marry her. And he finally did. And the wedding was like a very small wedding in the backyard, very intimate, which was cute. But my thing was, she had to beg this man to marry her, which means he's going to probably cheat on her, disrespect her maybe, or bring absolutely nothing to the marriage because he didn't want to do it in the first place. Let's go back to that one girl about the 128 ring, right? Imagine being disrespected, being, begging a man who looks like he's losing all of his hair already, maybe from all the stress of you asking for a ring. But nevertheless, this man is balding. And he's not a looker either. Like he's not the best looking man. You know what I mean? So imagine begging someone who's just not the best looking person, because clearly his personality is not that great either. Because I don't know. I honestly don't know why you're begging this man for a ring on the internet. $128 ring. I mean, we got people out here just settling for anything. Anything. Imagine you wearing this ring on your finger for the rest of your life, possibly, if you do get married to this man, if he ever marry you. And it's $128 Walmart ring. Don't get me wrong. You could get married with any kind of ring you want, but just couldn't be me. I'm sorry. You buy the ring. Your girl's going to be making excuses for you every time she show the ring to her friend. She's going to be like, oh, I know it's small. I know it's not the biggest ring, but we are thinking we will upgrade it when we're able to. Oh, I know, it's not what I wanted. I know that he probably didn't ask my sisters or my cousins or the people who really know me, but at least I got a ring. What? Why are you making excuses for a grown man? Because that's what it seems like it's going to be. A $68 to $128 Walmart ring? You might as well just put a little rubber band around my finger and just call it a day, because you're not about to make me walk around. I will buy myself my own ring if I have to, but I will never have to do that. I'll never do that. If you buy me an ugly ring or a cheap $68 Walmart ring, I will embarrass you by replacing the ring with something bigger. But then I'll just leave you with your cheap ring and I'll just move on. People keep saying, oh, it's not the ring. It's the love. And da, 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 da. Half the time, love is fake too. So please, please, okay? You might enjoy time with that person. You might enjoy the personality, but don't tell me that, okay, well, every young woman have this fairy tale dream waiting in their head, and then they meet this person, and then all of a sudden they shrink themselves and say, well, a small ring is fine, or a $28 ring or $128 ring is okay as long as this person is with me. And this person clearly don't even want to be with you. Don't even want to be with you, because half the time men will get married even if they do not love you. They will stay with you even if they do not love you. They will just do it just for the heck of it. And then you giving them the leeway of buying you a cheap ring? A cheap ring? What? Oh, what? He's already sticking around because he has a warm place to stay, someone to communicate with, to take out and impress his boys with, and then you settle for a cheap ring on top of that? Not saying to hurt a brother's pocket, but come on. What? Like, look at this ring right here. And I didn't wear this on purpose, but look at this ring right here. This ring was a gift. This was just a gift. Imagine somebody try to propose to me with a ring less nicer than this ring right here. And this was a gift. This was just a gift. Somebody just saw this ring, thought of me, and then bought it for me and said, I got you this. Imagine somebody try to propose to me and I have to wear this for the rest of my life and I can't take it off. I can't change it, keep it on the same finger for the rest of my life. And you give me some ugly ring from Walmart, please. Please. Oh, I'm bad. Nobody, yeah, we don't have to get married. And no, it's not about the ring, but you know how people say it's the thought that count? If you're going to think about something ugly and cheap to get to me because to me, when you give me something cheap, it means that's how you see me, as a cheap person. If you give me something ugly and cheap, all it says to me is that's how you see me. I'm not worth anything better. Excuse me. If I can buy myself something nicer, so I'm gonna need you to buy me something nicer than I can buy myself, if not equal to what I can buy myself. Because if I can buy myself a nicer ring, I'm not going to accept your ugly little Walmart ring just because, because now we're letting men get away with too much stuff. That's why men are so lazy, because we're like settling for like nothing. We're settling for nothing. So now men feel like they don't have to work as hard anymore because we'll just take anything, just scrapped under the barrel, at the bottom of the barrel scrap. They will be like, oh, well, we're just glad that we have someone who's willing to marry us. That's great for other people. It just couldn't be me. I'm sorry. And even if we're thinking about upgrading the ring in a few years, which most people do, but at least the start. The way my mom is so judgmental, the way my family is so judgmental, and it's not even about like people pleasing, but because we expect more. We can provide that much for ourselves, so when somebody come, you better come correct. You know what I mean? So don't be coming and buying me a little ring from Walmart, and then I'm supposed to be happy with that, and then go around my family and go show my family this ring that you got me. Please, I won't even tell them that we're engaged. Oh, what you embarrassed? Whoosh. Embarrassment. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And yes, you can call me a gold digger if you want. That's fine. But my standards are my standards. And that's just how it's going to be. And any man who comes into my life is going to have to step up. Step up. I'm not accepting no $20, no $120 Walmart ring. If that's the case, sir, just move out the way. Isn't that what Beyonce said? Move out the way. Because there's just no way. There's just no way. My father would never even buy me a ring from Walmart. Oh, just you go. Anyway, I'm finished here. I'm finny. I'm not in people's business anymore. I'm done. This is it for the night. I hope you all enjoy this video. Go ahead and click anywhere on the screen for the next video, and I'll see you there. I'll be here every single day for you. Trust me. I'll see you later. Bye.